Thanks for coming, guys.
All right, questions for Coach?
Well, I mean, this week, obviously, 2 more games. Definitely starts here with Missouri State. I know you guys aren't looking ahead, but the way it is now, you got to win these next 2. That's the first thing. You got to win these next 2 if you want to get to Huntsville.
Yes.
And then get help. I mean, certainly
Yes.
a big week. You still got an opportunity, but it's a lot not in your hands as well.
Yeah, no, we've got 2 very good teams, tough matchups for us. Fortunately, we're at home. They're doing the Comboni Bucks, so we got some incentive for how much is it?
500 students.
500 students get $10, and so towards concessions, and so we're trying to build that crowd as much as we can because we've got, Missouri State's, a good ball club. We got, leading scorer, got post players been playing really, really well, shooting 60%, and then we got FIU coming in with, maybe one of the most aggressive defenses, and that's tough for us as well. And so we've got 2 really good teams coming in here, and we've got to take care of our end of the business and try to win those ball games, and then we need some help. And we've put ourselves in this spot, but I am proud of the growth of the players. One thing they've continued to do is continue to fight, and they've continued to improve. And you can see the improvement over the course of the season as a team and individually, and so that part I'm proud of. Now I wish we had more control over our opportunities to get to the tournament. I do feel like we're playing our best basketball right now in March, and I'd like our opportunities to play just about anybody if we can take care of Thursday and Saturday and get an opportunity next week. That's what we want.
Coach, I want to ask you more about that fight you just talked about from these players. Now, I know the beginning of conference play probably didn't go the way that you guys wanted it to or anticipated it to, but they've really stayed locked in the past couple weeks, winning the past 3 or 4. What have you seen from their mindset to really stay focused and not let the season drag them down?
Well, we've put a lot of effort into just trying to make sure that we remain positive and continue to teach, continue to encourage. More than once I said, girls, I'm sorry, I'm not sure why the ball didn't go in or bounce our way, but we're going to come back the next day, and we use a lot of different thoughts for the day or slogans or speeches or talks or whatever we can do to try to keep them understanding that when you're running a race, you don't stop in the middle of the race, and you run it all the way to the end. And one day we talked about your future self will thank your present self for not quitting. And so we just try to keep that mindset about continuing to fight, and that we're not guaranteed of what the outcome will be unless we stop. And so I've been real proud of their efforts to come to practice with good energy. I think also is the positive team chemistry. They really do get along well. They laugh. They're fun to be with on the road. They're sometimes goofy and loud and silly, but I think that's the atmosphere. That's a culture that you want. We'd love to add some more made layups and some more rebounds to that culture, but I think that's helped as well. And so I've been really proud of that and the individual effort to continue to do better, whether it was staying under control on a drive, whether it was boxing out, whether it was post defense, whatever that might have been, shot selection, continue to try to work on those things that would help the team. And so I'm proud of those 2 things mainly.
Coach, taking it back just to this past weekend, a really close loss there at Liberty. Obviously they're a very good program, but what would you say is kind of was the difference maker in that second half? You had a pretty substantial lead there at halftime, and then they kind of went on some runs in the second half. What was kind of the difference maker there in that second half? 2 things, and it was really that third quarter. We felt like we had a good game plan, had great effort. They were doing a great job in the first half. We made shots in the first. We went to that third quarter and we couldn't buy a layup, and then our shot selection deteriorated a little bit. We took some poor shots, not a bunch, but we had trouble just knocking down some good open shots. And then we had some defensive breakdowns where we didn't get our hands up on some 3-point shooters, and then the offensive rebounds
those are gut punches. When you don't get that stop and you allow them to get an offensive rebound and they get fouls or an easy putback, that combination, that third quarter, it kind of magnified our fatigue. We were a little bit weary from the effort, the travel, everything, and then playing and playing a good team. And so but now, again, they came back and fought. And despite that awful third quarter, we still had opportunities in the fourth quarter to cut it to a single possession game, and even to the very last second we were still fighting to try to get that one. And there were some opportunities even in the fourth quarter. I thought, all right, we're about to get this thing turned back around, and we just had and we've had other really bad quarters. And really the difference between that third quarter against Liberty and maybe a bad offensive quarter like to start the game against Middle Tennessee was the defensive consistency. Like we only scored 9 points that quarter here at home, but we held them to 6. And so in that quarter at Liberty, we had a really bad offensive, and then we had some defensive breakdowns as well, and that just compounded that problem. But they kept fighting. We almost dug ourselves back out of that thing, almost.
That kind of goes right into the next thing. In the first meeting with Missouri State, it was that first quarter. I think it was 21-3. To your credit, you played them pretty even after that. Is that what you kind of take from this? Certainly, that they're capable of getting off to a kind of a run like that.
Missouri State?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, have you said there? I'm talking about our play. Yes, we're capable of turning it in a 3-point quarter. We need a few more of those 26, 28-point quarters. And so, Missouri State's got a really well-balanced team. They got a leading scorer, they got a great post player, they got, solid. They're really, and then we had 15, I think Washington, might be our last name, came off the bench, good shooter, and lit us up. And so they're really good at getting the ball inside. Forget the post player's last name, but she's shooting about 60% from the field. They're really good at getting inside and getting to the free throw line, attack, but they can also knock down the three. And you can't discount their ability to make open threes. And so we've got to keep that floor tight, and it's not one player's job to guard that post. We've got to do that collectively with, at the same time, not allowing those 3-point line, not letting Beckemeyer, not letting 15 get off at the 3-point line, and making sure those things are difficult. So we just need defensive consistency, and then hopefully we can, weather some of our offensive, ups and downs.
All of this at stake this week, and everything with 2 games, and then you throw in Saturday, it being senior day. I know maybe not a 4-year senior like you had with Lexi last year, but still some people that have been a big part of this program. Throw that in motion. How do you kind of keep everything in check there?
Well, we had a great practice day. They've been pretty consistent throughout the year with their energy and effort in practice. So I don't expect any different in that. I think that they'll be excited that family and friends are here for senior night. But I think that those emotions will calm down once you start playing the game, and you get rocked by a box out, or you get the ball stripped. That'll wake you up real fast. So hopefully it'll be the other way, and they'll get the box out or get the strip. But I think they'll be all right with that. We're excited that we got a bunch of young ladies that are graduating: Maya Pratcher and Sophie Telegdi and Jennifer and Melissa Callie Rose and Tia Schelling. So we've got several that had some challenges to overcome in order to get their degree, and so I'm proud. Some of them already have their degrees, and so regardless of whether they were here for 4 years or 1 year, I'm glad that they've got that degree, or they're going to be able to get that shortly after the season, and they'll be able to move forward with their next part of their life.
Speaking of those seniors, can you just talk a little bit more to that group and what you've seen from them this year, and just how special their time here has meant to you?
Yeah, it's fun seeing the way they interact in practice. And when at this time of year, you're trying to be prepared for the game, but the last thing you want to do, we're not doing the same type of intense knock-down, drag-out drills that you might do earlier in the year. You're really trying to make sure you're sharp, toned, and ready to go. And so sometimes the last thing we'll do is it'll be a competitive drill, but they really have a lot of fun with each other when they're doing that. And I'll see Jennifer might be down there, like, instead of boxing out, she might have Zophie wrapped up in a bear hug and trying to move her out of the way. And so it's fun to see them play that way with each other and compete against each other, even when we're in a more competitive drill and practice in a positive way. And they really do cheer for one another. They'll get on each other, and so that part is fun to see. And even in our locker room, over on to the left of the board where I put all the notes, they'll write all the different ways to say something, like maybe it's Happy Easter, or maybe it's Merry Christmas, and they'll write all the different languages, and then you'll hear them on the bus trying to learn Portuguese, or how do you say that in Hungarian. And so I think those relationships will be special throughout the rest of their life.
Coach, I mean, we've seen everything this season from really slow starts to having really good first half and then a second half collapse to where now, I mean, you've been able to put together some almost complete games, maybe just like one defining quarter. I mean, how can you really just say that? I mean, I know towards the beginning of conference play and in the beginning of the season, a lot of it was just as the game went on, a lot more fatigue kind of came into play. But I mean, recently we've seen, like, Salma's been the leading scorer in many of these games, but then this last game against Liberty, she really showed up on defense, and then you see Tia Schelling really thrive there at the end. I mean, how have you really kind of seen them just as individuals and as a team be able to put together just a complete game?
I think that's, you're right. Like they've all grown in their ability to put their game on the court during the game. And I think that's where Tia didn't play last year. And so now she's getting a lot more confident, and she's making more, even in practice today, I'm like, that's the way to be a basketball player. Like, they're making more basketball plays and just being themselves. And Salma's doing the same thing. And so, I think once you get comfortable with the atmosphere, then you can just be yourself. And you continue to work on your skills, continue to work on your game, understanding what the game plan is, but you're able to be yourself. When you first get out there, it could be intimidating. You got lights, you got fans, you got people around, and so I think that you're trying to play hard and not make mistakes, and it's hard to maybe just to relax. And so I think now Tia's gotten a little wiser, a little more comfortable, and Salma as well. And so I think I see all these young ladies kind of getting just more comfortable with each other, with one another, and most importantly with themselves on the floor. And so, I'm proud of how Tia's grown, and she made some big shots for us. She got some big steals. She's 4th, 5th in steals, 3rd in the conference. And so, I'm proud of her doing that, and still fussing at her practice today. Like, look, girl, like, you're one of our best defenders, so you got to get back on the ball. And so don't be leaving it. So we're here just at the end last week of the season, and we're still trying to just push it forward another inch. And but I'm proud of the growth that really all of them have made. And Tatum Betcher, and she's out there playing defense against all conference post players and doing a really good job. And so we knew she could shoot the ball. It's good. Sorry about that. It's probably my wife. Got 6 kids at home. And so Tatum's continued to grow and add, and really takes pressure off of Zophie Talegdi in there. And so it's good to see them all kind of be themselves and add that to the game. And Tatum's getting more confident at getting out and knock some of those big shots down, and we need that. So
another thing too is, we've really seen her kind of come to light within the past couple of weeks is Trinity. She really knows how to run the floor, but she can also shoot. We've seen some really clutch shots from her at the end, but it seems like everyone kind of looks at her to be the leader.
Oh, yeah.
And so just what is her, like, being out there on the floor and kind of directing the offense? Well,
that's why if you look at her minutes, there's usually a 4-0-0 right there. And I don't want her to play 40 minutes, but we're a different team. Now Tia's gotten better at doing that and taking that off of trend some, and that helps us a whole lot. But Trinity's just a high basketball IQ, competitive. You guys have no idea all the things that she plays through. Just plays through. She's not at 100%, but she's 100% committed to winning. And so I think that she just has an awareness of what's going on, and does she make mistakes? Sure, we all make mistakes, but she's aware of the situation in the game. She takes coaching well. She wants to keep getting better, and so I'm excited to to see really how great she becomes. Like, she's gotten into a spot now where she feels confident. She doesn't play like a sophomore at all, and she plays like a senior. And so I think that, she's still got a lot of great basketball in front of her. And so, but she does. When she's on the floor, we're a better team. We're just a better team, and that opens things up for a lot of other players. And but they've all grown. They've all grown and added to, and that's what you want with your team. You want your team to be better than just the sum of the parts.
Anything else?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you coming in this afternoon.